You gentlemen are making a big mistake.
This here is Mr. Thurgood Marshall. Man is an attorney. You will treat him with the respect that he deserves.
My great-granddaddy, he was a slave. We're not slaves now, are we?
How are you today, Mr. Brown?
I'm well, Tanisha. How about yourself?
I'm fantastic. You did an amazing job.
Thank you.
I mean, I was literally blown out of the water. I smelled some awards.
Well, from your lips, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I'm calling it. I'm calling
call
them
your
all.
shots,
I'm
girl.
calling them all.
Yes.
You know, so talk to me a little bit about this case and this character. I mean, Thurgood Marshall, one of the most celebrated civil rights leaders of our time, but not too many people were familiar with this case. You know, were you one of those people, or did you know?
I was.
Wow.
I did not know about this case. Did you know about it before?
I did it, and you know what? I went to an HBCU. I went
Right?
to the oldest HBCU. I went to Cheney, and I'm like, hello?
Had no idea, right? So you got a young Thurgood, 1941,
32 years old, right?
who is the sole lawyer for the NAACP, going across the country looking to defend African Americans who he feels are falsely accused. Because the NAACP at that time wasn't the stalwart that we know of today. I mean, it was an institution that was looking to do good, but they needed more funding. And so they needed a case on which they could hang their hat and say, look, this is the good that we are doing in this country. Please come and join us, right? So he's going across from the south to the north. He finds himself in Bridgeport, Connecticut with Joseph Spell. Joseph Spell is accused of the rape and attempted homicide of Eleanor Strubing, right? And he is tried in front of an all-white jury. Thurgood Marshall isn't allowed to actually try the case himself. He has to work through a Jewish lawyer, Sam Friedman, right? So they have this crazy situation where he's kind of like Cyrano de Bergerac, and Sam is saying all of his words in the courtroom, right? But this dude, Joseph Spell, is not perfect. He has been dishonorably discharged from the military. He has cheated on his wife and children. He has cheated on his side woman with this white woman. He's a human being, right? But because he looks like he has done it, this woman is able to use her white privilege to accuse him of something that he indeed did not do. And so he's in a situation now where do I admit to it, where I know the repercussions of miscegenation can be as dangerous, if not more so, to my being than actually being imprisoned? Or do I tell the truth, try to get my freedom, and be able to fight on my own 2 feet? So it was a really intriguing case for me to learn about what Thurgood Marshall was like as a young man, to recognize that there are certain seeds that sprout to become the first African-American Supreme Court justice.
Is there a certain place you had to go to personally, you know, to tap into Mr. Spell? Do you know what I mean? To be caught between, like, talk to me a little bit about what that place, what that place was for you.
It was sort of asking myself the question of what if? You know, Brown, if you were alive in 1941 and you were acutely aware and familiar of lynchings, of people having, you know, facing fear for looking at white women the wrong way, let alone actually being with them, what would you do? Like, how do you handle that? Like, it's not something in 2017 where people are allowed to date much more freely outside of their race. Like, this was something on the books in certain states.
Right.
It was against the law.
Right.
And whether it was against the law or not, people got their manhood cut off. You know, they were strung up. So it was about that. I thought about things from my past where I knew that there was a certain taboo nature to dating outside of your race. Being from St. Louis, Missouri, a very conservative time, and people looking at me and just be like, when I had friends who were white girls, not even dating them, and just being like, I had somebody tell that their father was told by their brother that this boy is gonna ruin your reputation.
Wow.
And this is me, who went on to Stanford University and NYU, who wasn't even thinking about dating somebody, but because we were both actors hanging out, like, there was fear. There was, I was messing with the status quo
Wow.
just by hanging out.
And that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well, you did an amazing job
Thank
with
you.
this character. We love your work. I look forward to seeing much more of your work, and continued blessings and success, Mr. Sterling K. Brown.
Thank you very much.
Golden
Tanisha.
Globe, Oscar, Independent Spirit Award,
I'll take
Critics'
it.
Choice Award,
Why not?
SAG Awards.
Why not? The more the
yes,
merrier.
Yes.
You lied in a sworn statement. Why would you do that?
Why'd I lie? Because the truth gets me killed.
Can't deny me now. Tunnel vision.
If you want freedom,
Tie me down on a mission.
you're gonna have to fight for it.
Stop me now.
The only way to get through a bigot's door was to break it down.
You can't stop me now.